Summer is here, and you know the children are home playing with friends. They're doing all kinds of stuff. It's not the typical routine, and when you get out of the typical routine, sometimes things change. We have to keep safety a little extra in mind. Joining us this morning is Stephen Ives. He's the president and CEO of the YMCA of Greater Houston. Good morning. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. So this is a very important topic. You know, we're all out of the routine, and I think it just changes things just enough
Absolutely.
where something can go wrong. So let's talk about some of the hidden dangers that kids might be facing, specifically in the summer.
Sure. So every day during the school day, we know they go to school, and there is a structure and there's form and there's rules that are there, and then suddenly it's summer, and if they happen to be home alone or home for periods of time alone, then there's opportunities for many things to happen that we need to be aware of. Most importantly, the online risk. I think that kids online, it's really important for parents to be aware of what they're doing and to have some connection and oversight of all of that. One of the things my wife and I made sure we did with our children when they were in that age period was we made sure that every social media platform they were on, and we were friends with them. You know, so there was that sense. You can't control everything, but at least there's that sense that you're there and you're aware that might control some of the behavior.
Well, something my wife and I do, we have apps. Safer Kid, Bark is another one where you're really able to get in and see the messages. Some of them are using AI technology now to really filter out. So there's a couple things then. I think of the technology side of things, but then just the safety. I mean, you got a little one, they run out of the house. I mean, is there a hard, fast rule about letting kids be on their own at different ages and different times?
There's no true hard, fast rule. However, the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services would tell us that any child under the age of 12 shouldn't be left alone. I think I agree with that, but it all depends on the maturity of our children. You know, some 12, 13, 14-year-olds probably shouldn't be left alone. I think parents need to use their own judgment around that and also find help. And with neighbors, with the YMCA, with Boys and Girls Clubs, other organizations that run great structured programs that are fun for young people and for teenagers.
Well, that's a great segue to what you guys do. Maybe not babysitting, but you're helping out in that department. Tell us more about some of those programs.
Well, actually, if parents or families come into the YMCA to work out or use classes or just be there, there is a child watch space in all of our YMCAs where they can drop their children off.
So we can call it babysitting.
Yes, you can. We call it child watch, right?
Child watch.
Right, it's about safety. So we'll be there and interact with your children. Our trained staff will be there. We also have a series of day camps. I think that's really, in my opinion, the best way to keep your child entertained and safe and also learn values and get some educational gains during the summer. We have 23, 24 locations across the region where we're running day camps.
All right. What about community resources for families? I know you do a lot more than just the athletic or energy, burning off the energy during the day.
Yeah. So programmatically, we have outreach sites in 39 locations, a couple hundred child care centers, and that's where we do structured programming. But beyond that, I think when it comes to child safety and child protection, it's important for parents to know there's resources through the Y and other organizations. I highly recommend Darkness to Light as an organization that has a great online training for parents to learn about protecting their children, particularly against child sexual abuse.
Is that an issue too? I mean, there's a knowledge gap maybe between what parents can actually even do, or like how do we make sense of it?
Well, and we're genuinely naive. You know, we trust people, and the truth is that people who wish to do harm to children show up very much like you and I as trusted human beings and build that trust with families, and then find a way to be alone with a child. And I think parents, while it's not necessarily helpful to be paranoid all the time, it's important to be safe and never allow your child to be alone with another adult. There's a growing concern we're having around child-on-child abuse, and so it's another thing to be concerned about is how often are you letting your child be alone with another child that isn't a sibling, and even in that case it's important. So we have to live our lives, and we have to have care and concern. One of the trainings that we do with our staff and with others, we talk about know, see, and respond. It's a great nudge. Always know the signs if something's going amiss, and that's where you get your online training. See, pay attention. You know, it's easy in our busy lives to turn the other way and say, yes, great, please take my child to this thing, and allow them to be alone in a car or some other way with an adult that isn't their parent. And then make sure we respond. When something doesn't seem right, it's okay to speak up. And it doesn't matter how much you trust that other person. That's a rule we have in our household. We don't allow
honesty,
that to
open
happen.
communication with the child too, very important. Stephen, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
Thanks
the
for having
time.
me.
And for more of our exclusive content, you can always go to click2houston.com/scene at 7.